Hey there, it's me, Dr. Hotzenplotz, your new source of facts and stories that no one needed to hear nor know about. Today we're looking at different awards that do not have a high impact on our culture, and neither do they have one on society. So let's look into them. There will be awards in this video that no names such as you watching can actually win, so even if your parents told you that you will never contribute anything to society, you can still prove them wrong by winning the Darwin Award, for example. I ain't sure if they see it as a kind of contribution to society that they were always talking about, but hey, at least you made us laugh. So enough talking for now, let's get to the facts and start with the first award, the IG Nobel Prize. The IG Nobel Prize is a parody of the real Nobel Prize awarded annually since 1991 to scientific research that quote-unquote first makes you laugh, then makes you think. The awards are organized by the Annals of Improbable Research, a science humor magazine, and are presented at Harvard University in a ceremony featuring real Nobel Prize winners. Winners will even receive a physically worthless but still highly prestigious trophy that is usually made of cheap materials. Let's look in some of my favorite winners and their studies that won the IG Nobel Prize during the last few years. Number 1 on my list is the 2024 winner in the category Peace Prize, a scientist called B.F. Skinner for experiments to see the feasibility of putting living pigeons into missiles to guide their flight paths. And honestly, I don't really know what to add to this one. Just how did that guy even get the idea? What happened in your life that you were sitting there one morning, filling up your cup of coffee, and then suddenly have the idea, oh, could we guide missiles with living pigeons instead of electronics? Well, at least even if the missiles won't hit the target, the death count will always be one pigeon. The next one on my list is the winner of the Physics Prize 2024, a James C. Liao, for demonstrating and explaining the swimming abilities of a dead trout. Yeah, you heard me right, a dead trout. Really important things to research to develop further as a human species, I guess. Next winner on my list is, and I am sorry for the pronunciation, a scientist called Seung-min Park, and winner of the Public Health Prize 2023 for inventing the Stanford toilet, a device that uses a variety of technologies, including a urinalysis dipstick test strip, a computer vision system for defecation analysis, an anal print sensor paired with an identification camera, and a telecommunications link to monitor and quickly analyze the substances that a human excretes. And I can't imagine anything more fun than a toilet collecting my data and identifying my anal print. And honestly, I have no idea what the last one is, but sounds like some perverted 1984 stuff. The winner of the Economics Prize in 2021 was a Pavlo Blavatsky for discovering that the obesity of a country's politicians may be a good indicator of the country's corruption. So by now, I know what you've all been asking yourselves. The Nobel Prize can be handed out to governments. Can the IG Nobel Prize too? And if yes, did the EU win the Ecology Prize for attaching bottle caps to the bottles? Did the US win the Architecture Prize for designing their city so big that you can't where your car stands? Or did Switzerland win the Peace Prize for accidentally invading Liechtenstein 3 times over again? Well, neither of those. But in 2021, Pakistan and India won the prize for, quote-unquote, having their diplomats surreptitiously ring each other's doorbells in the middle of the night and then run away before anyone had a chance to answer the door. Yeah, that really happened. The Materials Science Prize from 2020 went to a group of UK and US scientists for showing that knives manufactured from frozen human feces do not work well. I repeat, for showing that knives manufactured from frozen human feces do not work well. I'm literally overwhelmed with this study. Like, what led to the creation of this study? There was a group of 7 scientists from different countries that all came together and came to the conclusion that researching human poop knives is worth the time and effort. I mean, honestly, respect where respect is due. By now I've only covered 4 out of 30 years of glorious nominations by the IG Nobel Prize Committee. But as this video should include multiple awards, we're gonna have to start with the next one. But before we continue, here are some honorable mentions. Fortis Alley and William E. Peterson for exploring a paper bag next to a cat that is standing on the back of a cow to explore how and when cows spew their milk. Jan Salasiewicz for explaining why many scientists like to lick rocks. A group of African, American and European scientists for determining by experiment whether it is safer to transport an airborne rhinoceros upside down. Last but not least, Roger Musitz and Buras Bengudifa for measuring structural temperature asymmetry in naked and clothed postmen in France, and Mark Mitchell and David Wartinger for using roller coaster rides to try to hasten the passage of kidney stones. So, let's move on to our next prize, the Darwin Award. People dying, haha, funny. The Darwin Award is a post-mortem award which is given to people that died due to the most avoidable reasons. Unlike the Ig Nobel Prize, this one isn't handed out by a committee. It's just a list of real-life death reasons on a public website maintained by a small editorial team. But that makes it even easier for you to also become a nominee. That way you could make your parents proud and happy, because you're not only nominated for an international award and will bring fame upon your family name, but you'll also stop disappointing them every single time they have to take a look at you. Now, honestly, don't try to reproduce any of the following winners' activities. And let's start with the first winner. An American playing Russian roulette. Everyone knows it and everyone loves it. Is there a better thing than a cozy night around a campfire with your homies and playing a fun game? A man from Houston thought the exact same and decided to play Russian roulette. For those of you that don't know how it works, you load a revolver with a bullet and spin it around without knowing if it's loaded or not. Then you point the barrel to your squishy thinking machine and trigger the mechanism. Now you have a 1 to 6 chance of decorating the wall behind you with a nice carpet of thinking truths, or a 5 to 6 chance of surviving. Yay! But keep in mind that this is only the case if you use a revolver with a spinning barrel. Our genius from Houston used a semi-automatic pistol. Yeah, just that you know, these load a bullet into the chamber every time. He did not survive to explain the difference. Next one on our list must be the smartest terrorist to have ever existed. Ever heard of the Unabomber? The math genius that decided society ain't cool anymore and started sending mail bombs all across the US? I bet you did. So did another man from the US who created his very own mail bomb, which detonates if you open it. But judging from his actions, I guess he wasn't such a math genius as Ted Kaczynski. He didn't do the math right to put enough post stamps on his package. As he didn't pay enough for his shipment, the mail service returned the package to him, and now you can take 3 guesses what led to him winning the Darwin Award. Yeah, he opened his own mail bomb. Our next winner is a man from the UK who taped a rocket to his backside and lit it, believing it would be funny. Spoiler, it wasn't. The firework ignited, entered his body and exploded internally. He went out with a literal bang. So, last guy on our list is a man from South Africa who tried to rob a warehouse with a motion sensor security system. To stay undetected, he stripped down completely naked and slathered himself in butter to be able to better move through the tight ventilation shafts that weren't monitored by the security system. A few days later, the facility manager was called due to the belief that there was a wild animal in the ventilation shafts that started decaying and smelling. He went up there and instead of an animal, he found the robber. He was very dead and very greasy. Moving to our last award of today, the Ben Spoon Award. Now, this is an award that celebrates the finest examples of pseudoscience and quackery. If you've ever wanted to make a totally bizarre claim, the Ben Spoon Award is just for you. Issued by the Australian Skeptics, an organization dedicated to promoting critical thinking and skepticism, the award was established in 1982 and is given annually to individuals or organizations that have made particularly absurd pseudoscientific claims. Following is a list of my favorite quacksters that won the award. Number 1, Fran Sheffield of Homeopathy Plus, for advocating the use of magical sugar and water in place of tested and true vaccination for many deadly diseases. Number 2 on my list is a Mrs. Marina Mansoufas, who was the head of programming at the ABC Australian Broadcasting Corporation in 2007. She received the award for authorizing the television program Psychic Investigators and scheduling it in the Catalyst timeslot. A timeslot which is famous for its scientific shows. As one could guess, the TV show was about cases where psychics assisted in solving mysteries. For example, a case of a woman which was found dead but almost entirely cremated in her apartment in Florida. The show featured a self-proclaimed psychic which explained that this was all the result of that woman's negative emotions of hate and anger manifesting itself as a fire and killing her. Next winner of the 2001 prize were John Christie and Lou Britz. They sold a product called the Lutech 100, which they claimed was an infinite energy generator which was able to generate more energy than it consumed. They claimed a patent for their amazing product in over 60 countries. Finally, the winner of the 1996 award, a Mrs. Marlo Morgan. She was an American New Age author which claimed in multiple of her books that Australian Aborigines are actually able to fly, but that they are keeping it as a secret from society. And with that we reach the end of this video today. I hope you enjoyed the first video from the Users Archives, which was presented to you by me, Dr. Hotzenplotz. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, a subscription, and activate the funny bell thingy to not miss out on any new news from the Users Archives. I already start researching the archives for your next presentation. Until then, see you and goodbye. So even if your parents told... Bleh.